Now, I was very unhappy. Nothing was going right. And the second I started to do what this book said, everything in my life started to change. My income went from $4,000 a year to over $1 million a year. I became very happy. I became very productive. I'll be 75 in a couple of months, and I've got more energy than most people 25. I have found out that you and I have infinite potential, and that happiness, health, and wealth are normal states for you and I to live in. But it doesn't happen by accident. I had the good fortune of working with a man in Chicago, Earl Nightingale, who really started the distribution of self-help material as we know it today in the Nightingale Content Corporation. And Earl taught me how to read a book, how to study a book. And I'm going to take one paragraph out of the book that I highlighted many years ago. And I began to study it. And this is something I think we can all learn from. The author said there's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until they believe they can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief and not mere hope or wish. Now he said open-mindedness is essential to belief. Closed minds will not inspire faith, courage, or belief. Well, you know, I have been hoping and wishing up until that point in life, and nothing happened. And he pointed out that you've got to believe it. Yet he also pointed out that there was only 2 points of reference that you could go to if you wanted to find anything about yourself. One's science and the other's theology. And he said there's nowhere else you can go. And so I began to study both of them, and I've never stopped. And I have found you can get into the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, the Torah. You can get into all the good books. Every one of them, without exception, said you have to believe. Our beliefs are expressed in our results. A person can say, I believe it. If the results aren't there, they don't believe it. I have found we believe on 2 levels. We believe on a conscious level, and then we believe on a very deep psychic level. There's a beautiful word, praxis. Praxis is the integration of belief with behavior. And I was finding that I was saying I believe things, but my behavior indicated that I had never heard of it. I believe that we could take control over our life, but I wasn't in control of my life. So you see, we believe something on a conscious level, but if you study a person's behavior, it's quite different than what they believe on another level. And so I started to study this word belief. William James, way back around 1900, one of America's earliest psychologists, he said, believe, and your belief will actually create the fact. And then I had a mentor named Bell Van de Wall. He's gone now, God bless him, but he sure changed my life. And he pointed out that our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. Yet frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about that situation will change. I was wondering why my life had changed. It had changed so dramatically, and I wasn't satisfied with the fact it changed. I wanted to know why. And I started to realize that my belief about who I was changed. And I started to see that I was much more than appeared on the surface. And I have found when you believe, you are ready. Hill went on to explain something else. He said, remember, no more effort is required in order to aim high in life to demand abundance and prosperity than is required to accept misery and poverty. And I started to analyze my own life. Here I was happy, I was healthy, I was wealthy, yet I wasn't putting a lot of effort into it. When I was unhappy, sick, and broke, I was working very hard. Yet it started to make sense when we start to work in harmony with the laws of our being, everything works well. When we go against those laws, nothing works well. Now, go back to what Ray told me. He said, you have infinite potential. I wanted to know what he really meant by that. Now think of this for a moment. Out of the secret come the answer for a lot of people. I have found out our spiritual DNA is actually perfect. Now I want you to think about that for a moment. Your spiritual DNA is perfect. There is perfection in every one of us. It's our responsibility to gain an understanding of this. Your spiritual DNA is perfect. It requires no modification, yet it requires no improvement. What we really have to do is open up and let what's inside come to the surface. You see, our spiritual DNA is all-knowing. The essence of who you are carries all the knowledge that there ever was or ever will be. The essence of who you are is all-powerful. There is no limit to what you and I can do. Absolutely none. The essence of who we are is ever-present. We are truly all connected. We say we're one. Do we really understand that? Because we truly are. It can be proved scientifically that every one of us are connected. Perfection is the real you. You and I are the offspring of a deathless soul. Now I want you to think about this for a moment. The essence of who we are is all-knowing. Do you know that all the knowledge there ever was or ever will be is evenly present in all places at the same time? Yesterday, we stood here at this lectern, yesterday morning, and people in Lake Tahoe, in a very remote part of Utah, sat in an auditorium and saw us communicate to them. And we sat here and saw them communicate to us. When you look at that, you could say it's a miracle, but the truth is, we've always been able to do that. We just weren't aware of how to do it. And as you said yesterday, all we're lacking is awareness, and that's all we're lacking. Yes, we become more aware, our whole world changes. We've got to become aware of who we are, what we are, and how we are connected. Then we're all powerful. All the energy there ever was, or ever will be, is 100% evenly present in all places at the same time. There is never a lack of energy. When you hear a person say, I haven't got energy, any energy, they're advertising their ignorance about who they are. This power is omnipresent. And you see, we are truly spiritual beings. We live in physical bodies. Most people think they're a physical being living in a spiritual or having a spiritual experience. And that's not the way it is. We're spiritual beings and we're having a physical experience.